Alright, so here we have a General Electric transistor clock radio. Yeah, I picked this up at an antique shop for I think $20 a couple years back. But it doesn't work all that great. I mean, it does work, but this switch here only works like maybe a third of the time, and the volume crackles a lot. The tuner seems to work alright, but I haven't seemed to figure this out. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's the model C550A, but it's kind of weird because there's just a blank spot after it says model. So, I don't know. When I got it, it was missing a screw here. So I don't think I did that. And it's got a little crack right here, and that's kind of disappointing, but oh well. On the back, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and we have this knob for adjusting the clock. So if we pull that back, then we can adjust what time it is, and if we push it in, then we can adjust what time the alarm will go off. And here we have the snooze button, which kind of works. It's also just pretty dirty in general, but here, let's take it to our workshop and see what we can do to test it and fix it up. Okay, so here I've got it all ready to test, and I already did a little bit of testing, and I found out that I'm gonna have to ground this out. And I found it out the hard way by touching the metal part here and getting electrocuted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach this wire to the volume knob here, and I have that wire on the other end attached to our tractor. So I figure that'll ground it out pretty good. But yeah, so here now I'm gonna plug it in and hopefully not get electrocuted. Okay, so it's plugged in and I'm not getting electrocuted. Perfect. So here, I'll quick turn it on. And it's working, but you can hear just a little bit of kind of like a whistling noise. But the clock is working just fine, which is awesome. I had it running last night, and the clock stayed in time the entire time. But yeah, so now the switch seems to be working just fine. Before, it was only working sometimes. Let's see if the alarm works. So we'll switch it to alarm, and we'll push this in. There we go. Snooze button. Seems like once you press the snooze button, it doesn't turn off the alarm, but it turns on the radio. So that's kind of weird. I guess I don't know everything about this. Oh, now I can't turn it off. Come on. Now I think I'm gonna take it apart. I've already checked inside, and it looks like it really needs to be, like, it needs a ton of dust to be blown out. And then I think we need some contact cleaner on the switch and that switch, because they don't work all that great. And here on the volume, it's kind of crackly, especially at the beginning. So I think we can work on that. And on the tuning, there's kind of some whistling going on. So, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can fix that with some contact cleaner, and yeah, we're gonna see what we can do with this. Okay, so here I have my screwdriver so we can take it all apart. So, yeah, let's take all these screws out. There we go. Okay, now we can take this apart. Yeah, as you can see, in there it's a little bit dusty, so I'm going to take this over to our air compressor and we're going to hose it out. Okay, so I've got our air compressor all filled up, and we're over next to it. So, yeah, let's spray down in there and try to get all the dust out. Okay, and now we can take it on back and spray some contact cleaner in the switches and the knobs. Alright, so here we have our trusty old WD-40 contact cleaner. We'll just spray all over in that switch. Alright, now we can let that dry. Alright, so I allowed that some time to dry, so now we can flip it over and put it back together. And I did mention before that that we had a missing screw here, so I looked through our drawers and I found almost the perfect screw to fit in there. Alright, and now we can test this again. Alright, so I've got this all ready to test. I'm still gonna have this. Call me a scaredy cat, but I don't really enjoy getting electrocuted, so I'm just gonna have that as a safety net for now, and I can test if it's gonna electrocute me later. So here, I'm gonna plug it in, and hopefully it doesn't blow up. Alright, so the clock's working just fine. That's awesome. Well, let's turn it on. I've got the volume at 0, so we'll turn it up. Oh, that's weird. There we go. I guess you just kind of have to slam it into turning it on. There's still a little bit of whistling in there. But that doesn't bother me too much. I did test the 3.5mm jack and that works just fine. Not perfect quality, but it's AM radio, so it's about all you're gonna get. But yeah, so now it works alright. I'm gonna try to work on some cosmetic details. I think some Armor All would work alright in the top. It's pretty dusty. Get some water in there and clean that up. And it looks like there's some sticker residue on the bottom, so I can use some Goo Gone for that. So yeah, let's get the Goo Gone and take off the sticker first. Alright, so I got it flipped over and I've got our Armor All here, and just a small rig. We can just take the cap off and there we go. Now we got some Armor All on there. So now we can take that and just there we go. Now we can let that dry. I allowed that some time to dry, and I also put a little bit of Armor All on the knobs and down here and on the face and on the whole metal outside, and like up here now you can see like it's got a nice chrome look, and it's really shiny, and like you can see my reflection in it, and yeah, it looks really nice. In the top, got rid of most of that dust. Down here there's just a couple little specks of something like back in there, but I think I could maybe try getting it out with a toothbrush or something, but all pretty minor stuff. So I think that concludes our repair. So yeah, let's listen to some tunes. I said let's listen to some tunes.
Safe and totally discreet. With Roman, you can get a free
Okay,
online
not
evaluation and
tunes,
ongoing
but
care for ED.
you get what I
For
mean.
the comfort and privacy of your home. The doctor will work with you to find the best
I'm out.
treatment plan.